Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. What's going on, guys? Today we are talking all things running backs. One of the deepest positions right now in this game is the running back position. Probably like 5 or 6 S tier guys right now, which is pretty crazy to say. Usually it's only like 2 or 3 at any given position, but right now the running backs are just super deep. And of course, before we get started, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. We do post daily Madden 23 content, gameplays, tier list, really just your one-stop shop for all of your Madden 23 content. Okay, so here is the tier list to get us started off today. We of course have Barry Sanders at S tier, and I really do think right now Barry Sanders is one of the better running backs to have right now, you know, coin value wise and based off how the card plays. 0 AP evasive is really nice. You can literally run that for free. Doesn't matter what your scheme is. If you already have 12 AP and no abilities on your running back, just add Barry to the team. 0 AP evasive does go a very long way, mainly for juking. Spin moves in this year's game is not good. I do not care about a spin move stat this year. In past Maddens, yes, I did. But in this year's Madden, spin move, it might as well just be 0 on all these cards because it's not worth using anyway. You want to be juking, you want to be doing the hard cuts and stuff like that. So Barry, I think, is one of the better cards to honestly buy. We have Joe Mixon, we have Tony Pollard, who I like Tony's stats. I like his speed, his acceleration, his size, but he does get deep out, but he is saved by 1 AP evasive on his card, but 2 AP deep out. It's really only going to be used in like a 1 in a million scheme, so you know, I just don't value it, and it also does like waste a pretty important ability slot on the card, but the 1 AP evasive, I think, definitely does save it. We still have guys like Derrick Henry, Sweetness, and Eric Dickerson near the top, but yeah, let's just get started. The first running back we're looking at today is going to be Donta Foreman. And I'm a huge fan of this Foreman card. 91 speed, 89 acceleration, good truck, good stiff arm, good carrying. He is more of a power back, so he's going to have, you know, on the lower end of the COD and the juke move and the break tackle. Should be higher, honestly, on this card. It really should be. And it feels like it's way higher on this card. He plays super well in game at 6'1", 233 pounds. And one of the main reasons, not only do you have to have the stats and the build, in my opinion, to be, you know, highly ranked on this RB tier list, you also got to have the abilities to back it up, and he does with just 1 AP bulldozer. So I'm messing with this card, and just for 90K, he's a pretty good budget option, and it might surprise you where I put this card, but I really do like Foreman. I'm going to put him up here. I'm at A tier in front of Shady and in front of Derrick Henry, which might be a surprise, but power backs play well in this game. There isn't that many like traditional power backs, and they do play well in this game. They do. They really do. Is he going to break that big run like some of these 90, 93 speed guys? No, that's why he's in the lower end of A tier, but I love the abilities, love the size, and also has good stats. So next man up is the All Madden out of position running back Rod Woodson. We had an out of position for All Madden drop 1, didn't have one for 2, and now they're back here for All Madden 3. But this card's pretty good. I mean, if you like throwing the ball to your running back, 90 short route running, hitting that threshold's huge. Also good mid route running. Could probably honestly play slot receiver, but yeah, good speed, good acceleration, good spin, good COD, good break tackle. They're carrying a little bit low. Usually on these out of position running backs, we see them do this. They give them low carrying, but really good route running for whatever reason, and Rod Woodson has that. Also does get a pretty good amount of theme teams that are popular, like the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Niners, usually pretty popular, and of course, Legends, but you can actually get this card for completely free as well. So for a free option at running back with good abilities, in my opinion, I like RB Apprentice. Also does get that special like 5th ability slot, which I love. So 2 AP evasive with RB Apprentice for 1 AP, it's a really good setup. Big fan of the setup right here. So Rod Woodson, I do think is honestly really close to being, man, this one's close. This one's honestly very close. I want to make him A tier. I really do. I love his abilities, but he's just missing. He does lack carrying and a little bit of power in his game. So for that reason, I'm going to put him down here at high B tier in front of ETN. But those abilities are really good on this card, and for completely free, you might as well give this card a try. I mean, give him a try. I mean, he might work in your scheme and can play a little bit of slot receiver if you really need him to. And next up is Nick Chubb, and I'm actually a huge fan of this card. I made a video on him. He played great for me. Obviously 92 speed. We have faster backs now, and I do think there is a better power back right now in the game. Debatably 2 better power backs in the game right now, but when he came out, he was the best. And he still does play super well. The trucking, the CODs, okay. He's a power back, so do keep that in mind. Decent pass catcher for a Chubb card as well. But it's the abilities on this card that I really like, and the fact that you can kind of pick what you want to do with him. I love the bruiser. So 1 AP bruiser is a great start, and then you can kind of pick if you want to if you don't really juke that much or really like evasive backs or elusive backs, then just go with tank, which is a really good ability. Or you could go 0 AP goal line back if you don't want to, if you don't have enough AP, honestly, to use. But I love the evasive 2 AP with the bruiser combo. It's super nice. You basically get all 3 good ball carrier moves boosted, which is the stiff arm, the truck, and the juke move. So I do like that a lot. Obviously, the most optimal setup. If I were to build a perfect running back right now in this game, I'd give him 1 AP bruiser. Obviously, 0 AP, but realistically, it'd be like 1 AP bruiser and like a discounted jukebox because, you know, evasive, I think, just isn't good because the spin move is just a waste for me. And they do kind of value that still. So Nick Chubb does play super well. If you want to use him more like an elusive back and really field, you know, the good juke and stuff like that, you are going to want to use the evasive, the evasive ability. So Nick Chubb, I'm going to throw him to the top of A tier. I'm a big fan of this card. If you haven't tried him, I definitely do recommend him. The next man up is Christian McCaffrey, the LTD record breaker. Is it a record breaker or is it just for the 3? Yeah, it's the passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown in one game, which is obviously super cool. But yeah, 92 speed, 94 acceleration, CMC cards always play well. If you look back to earlier in this year's game especially, people were using that ultimate kickoff CMC for longer than they probably should have. His card just does play well. It's simple as that. And honestly, I do feel like he was cheated a little bit on the route running. You have a guy like Rod Woodson in the game right now with 90 short route running, but you're going to give CMC probably the best pass catching back in the NFL. Only 82 short route running, which is definitely interesting. But for the abilities, obviously he's going to have the the abilities to kind of back it up with the 2 AP backfield master and the 2 AP evasive. Backfield master does give you the additional hot routes and the better route running. So it's kind of like backfield mismatch and RB apprentice in one ability for 2 AP, which is really nice. And grab and go does not work. Grab and go, human joystick do not work. So if you ever see a running back come out with 0 AP grab and go or 0 AP human joystick, it's just there to probably make the card sound a little bit better because those abilities were once good in Madden's, but now they're no longer good. And in theory, they look like they would play well. Look at grab and go. You know, who wouldn't want better, quick, shifty movement after catching or, you know, better turning the corner? It doesn't work. I mean, maybe the turn the corner stuff works. Maybe get some new animations, but as far as how the stick feels, it just feels exactly the same. It's really just a clickbait ability, to be honest. So, CMC, your backfield master evasive, I do like that setup a lot. So we're gonna be throwing him up here in front of Joe Mixon and in front of Tony Pollard. So now we have one of my favorite cards in the game, and that is the AKA CJ2K with the 93 speed and 96 acceleration, which is just insane. If you have one of his theme teams, potentially 95 speed with 98 acceleration is just crazy right now. And also thinking back to last year, his card was super disappointing, but in this year's game, he plays so much better, breaking tackles, winning tackle battles, the juke. He kind of feels like he doesn't feel as weak as he did in last year's game. Like, he feels a little bit more sturdy, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but that's the best way I can kind of describe it. This card does play very well and also to get some pretty good abilities. My favorite is the evasive. That's all I would really run on him. That's all he really needs. If you like throwing the ball to your back a little bit more, maybe go with the short end. But I do think it's probably better if you were just to go with evasive. Again, human joystick doesn't work, so don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. Evasive is the best ability for just 1 AP, which is basically like, you know, if Jukebox was 1 AP, say Jukebox was 1 AP on elusive backs, which in my opinion it should be. I would say go Jukebox and like short in maybe, but just go with evasive and just kind of set it and forget it. The card's gonna play great for you. So Chris Johnson, I think easily. Let me click him. There we go. I'm gonna put him up here at S tier in front of Barry Sanders. So over the last week or so, people have been asking me, you know, what running backs are you taking? Who do you like? And until I really sit down and crunch the numbers, look at the abilities, I'll take up to like an hour to an hour and a half when it comes to organizing these videos and ranking these players. So I do definitely put the time in. And until I do that, I use a lot of these cards, but I don't really have a great grasp, you know? But now I'm seeing very clearly, and Cordero Patterson, this card is stupid good, okay? Now, I was underrating him severely, but 94 speed, which is the fastest in the game right now, only 2 backs, actually. No, 3 backs. 3 backs in the game have 94 speed. Marshall Faulk, Cordero Patterson, of course, Saquon. But this guy at 6'2", 220 pounds, Cordero Patterson cards always play amazing. 91 short route running, good hands, the juke's there. He's going to have the good break tackle, good carry, and good COD. Even the strength's pretty solid, but it's just the weight and the height on this card, and the speed, and the abilities as well. Getting that 1 AP evasive, 2 AP backfield master, so a good pass catcher. You could go 0 AP return man. You could. I don't think it really makes sense, but it's the evasive backfield master combo. that is just so deadly. The match of the height and the speed. Cordero Patterson's just ridiculous, and I'm going to put him in front of Chris Johnson at S tier. This card literally checks off every single box. Doesn't matter how you play, besides maybe like some more of like a power back style, like just running people over. But for a broad range of how Madden players play, Cordero Patterson's definitely going to fit your play style. Okay, so next up we have Marshall Faulk, and I'm sure a lot of you guys just thought Marshall Faulk was going to be an auto S tier card, but I'm here to tell you he isn't. And to be S tier, I feel like you have to check off every single box, which is the abilities, the stats, and the size, which he does check off, I would say, one of them. And I love his stats. His stats are really good. 94 speed, 94 acceleration, which is obviously really good. Also good juke, good break tackle, good COD, good pass catcher. But I would say one of the, especially in this year's game, more than ever, getting good abilities and good discounted abilities, which is kind of like two things. Not only do you have to be able to get the good abilities, you also gotta, EA also has to bless you. So yeah, you gotta get good discounted abilities, and Marshall Faulk simply just does not get that. And we'll check down here. This is where it's important. It's 1 AP RB Apprentice, and then what? You're gonna run backfield mismatch. So you're basically just creating. You're just creating backfield master for 1 less AP. That's what you're doing. So then the big thing for me is that he also doesn't get like a jukebox or evasive ability. And if you want to run a jukebox or evasive ability, which I think definitely does take a ball carrier to the next level, not only for creating more space, but also making defenders animate and breaking more tackles, making more guys miss, you have to at least spend 3 AP, and obviously no evasive and stuff like that. So that's the main reason why I just don't like this card. And also the 0 AP grab and go, I tried it in that video and I literally could not tell a difference. I literally couldn't tell. I forgot I even had it on. RB Apprentice is cool, but if you're not going to pair it, I mean, I guess you could pair it with one of these two abilities, but all this card really gets is just 2 AP backfield master. So compared to all the other S tier guys, I think ability wise he's definitely inferior. So for that reason, believe it or not, I'm going to throw Marshall Faulk at high A tier, if that does make sense. And so now we have the LTD legend Marcus Allen. And the best way I can describe this card is Chris Johnson, but better. That's all I can really say. 93 speed with the 96 acceleration, which is identical to Chris Johnson, but also has 82 strength, okay? If we head down here, 94 trucking, 91 stiff arm, good COD, good break tackle, a good juke move, good carry, and also a good pass catcher. And all of these stats also, Raiders theme team, here we go. And the abilities on this card are stupid. 1 AP bulldozer, and if you want to throw the ball to the running back for 1 AP backfield master, which Marshall Faulk was supposed to be, he's a pass catcher, it's what he was known for, he's a receiving back. And not even he gets backfield master 1 AP, instead you have to build it yourself for 2 AP, which is funny, but also evasive as well. So if you don't throw the ball to your running back, if you don't need the hot route and abilities or the extra routes, my bad, that's the wrong word I used there. But if you don't need those extra routes, run evasive. There you go. Bulldozer evasive, beautiful. And then backfield master if you want to throw to him more. It's just stupid how well-rounded this card is. And honestly, he's debatably number 1. Even though he isn't as fast as the guy that's going to be number 1 today, he's debatably number 1 just because of how well-rounded the card is with the acceleration, the abilities, and of course the stats. Literally checking off every single box. The next man up is, of course, Breece Hall, 5'11", 218. This card does play amazing. 90 juke, 93 COD, 78 strength with 94 carrying, 90 trucking, and 90 break tackle. Pass catching wise, I do think he was done a little bit dirty. But yeah, this card, if you did use his RP, you know that Breece Hall card, his cards always play super well. 2 AP evasive with 1 AP short and reach forward identifier. I honestly think probably the best setup is either just evasive or going evasive short in if you want him to be more well-rounded. And also short in can somewhat cover up, some of the pass catching issues on this card. But Breece Hall, I do think he's a low S tier option right now in this game, based off just how he breaks tackles and also the abilities I do like on this card as well. And finally, we have Saquon Barkley. So it is tough between the two. It really is between Marcus Allen and Saquon Barkley. I do think they're 1A, 1B, 1B, 1A, depending on your philosophies at the running back position and how you feel about running backs in this game. But for me, I think I am going to end up going with Marcus Allen here. I do think I am. So Saquon Barkley, 5'11", 233 pounds, very well-rounded stats, a decent pass catcher. He's faster than Marcus Allen, but Marcus Allen has that 96 acceleration, so he does get to that top speed just a little bit faster. And it's not like 93 speed right now is slow either. You know what I mean? Like if you have a 93 speed back, you're still okay. And the reason why I am going to give the slight upper hand for me to Marcus Allen is for the abilities. I would rather have the 1 AP evasive and then the choice between Bulldozer 1 AP, then the choice between evasive or backfield master. Not backfield mismatch, there is a difference. I would rather have that choice. And also tank only does work on hit sticks. So it does make Saquon feel a little bit more solid against like enforcers, which we are starting to see more of. I feel like tank would be a really good ability down the road this year when we start seeing a lot more 0 AP enforcers, because people are just going to be buying those cards just to use them, because why not put an enforcer out there? Usually enforcer isn't worth running because of the AP, but if we're going to see a lot of 0 AP enforcers coming out, like we've already seen with Brian Dawkins, for example, why not run tank if everyone's going to have, you know, enforcers? Like, why not? But right now, I would rather have the bulldozer and get those guaranteed animations, and also have the evasive / backfield master, depending on how you want to use him. So yeah, that is gonna do it for today's tier list. Number 1 for me, Marcus Allen. Number 2, Saquon Barkley, Cordero Patterson, TJ2K, and then Barry Sanders rounding out our top 5. Drop a comment down below. What would you change? Did I miss anyone? And yeah, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.